Welcome everyone to the 32nd annual 4-H Tropicana Public Speaking Competition. My name is Bridgete Alfonso. I work with the University of Florida IFAS Extension as a 4-H Youth Development Agent. That's quite a mouthful. I apologize this evening for the issue with directions. You can throw tomatoes at me later out in the lobby. I apologize. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here to hear our wonderful contestants. I collaborate with local schools, community organizations, and volunteers to deliver research-based educational program to Seminole County youth. The 4-H Tropicana Public Speaking Program is just one of our school enrichment programs that I oversee. We're made possible through county funding through Seminole County government and state funding through the University of Florida. The Tropicana program has seen nearly 4,000 students every year over 32 years. And this year we've hit that mark again. Over 4,000 students have participated. And tonight you're going to hear 17 out of 4,000. So I told them in our winners workshop they should be pretty proud of themselves to be 1 through 17 out of 4,000. This program is also made possible by the Tropicana PepsiCo Company, who funds us with $3,000 each year for awards and materials. We also serve adult audiences at our extension office, and if you have any questions about that, we do have brochures in the lobby. We have programs with housing assistance, health and nutrition, gardening, and of course, many other youth programs like 4-H. So tonight, I invite you to sit back, relax, enjoy these 17 sixth grade finalists as they present their speeches. So we're going to have our 17 contestants introduce themselves with their name, school, and a moment to thank their parents, guardians, friends, family that are here.
Hi, my name is Bradley Kantrowitz, and I am from Jackson Heights Middle School, and I'd like to thank my grandparents, my parents, my brother and sister, and my language arts teacher. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Reese Taylor. I'm from Park Maitland School, and I would like to thank my mom and Mr. Laser. Hi.
My name is Samantha Waterston from Tuscola Middle School, and I'd like to thank my family for coming here and my language arts teacher for telling me about this competition.
My name is Wesley Thomas from Altamont Christian School, and I would like to thank my parents and my teacher.
My name is Madison DeWitt from Lawton Childs Middle School, and I would like to thank my wonderful parents and grandparents.
Hello, my name is ALIANA. I'd like to thank my parents, my little sister, my friends and family, and a big thank you to my language arts teacher.
Hello, my name is Hannah WOHLEVER. I go to the Masters Academy, and I want to thank my drama teacher who always pushed me farther.
Hi, my name is Veronica Valdez. I'm from Indian Trails. I'd like to thank all my family and friends for supporting me and my language arts teacher.
Hello, my name is Rayburn Gordon. I'm from Millennium Middle School, and I'd like to thank my teacher, Miss Turner, and my mother and my brother because they're awesome. Okay.
Hello, I'm Alexzandra LIGHTBOURNE. I'm from Double R Private School, and I'd like to thank my parents for listening to my speech over and over again.
Hello, my name is Evelyn Shaw from Greenwood Lakes Middle School, and I would like to thank my little brother Harrison for being the inspiration behind my speech, my parents for always supporting me in this, and my language arts teacher for teaching me all the things I need to know.
Hi, my name is ECKSTEIN-SCHOEMANN. I go to Markham Woods Middle School, and I would like to thank my family along with my wonderful language arts teacher, Miss Petruso, for encouraging me to do this.
Hi, I am Jack Fitzgerald from All Souls Catholic School, and I'd like to thank my parents for supporting my dreams and also my wonderful teachers that came to watch me.
Hello, my name is Gabriel OLAH, and I have to thank, from Rock Lake Middle School, I have to thank my language arts teacher and my father for introducing me to my idol.
Hi, I'm Avery Johnson. I go to Orangewood Christian School, and I would like to thank my family and friends for all their help and support, and my language arts teacher, Miss Hickok.
Hi, my name is Rudy Darden, and I'd like to thank my dad, my language arts teacher, Miss McAvoy, Miss Logan, and Miss Sioka for encouraging me and inspiring me to do the things I love, and my family. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Angelina Joseph. I'm from Teague Middle School, and I'd like to thank my family, my language arts teacher, and my dog Ginger for listening to me.
Okay, I'd like to take just one more moment to introduce our judges this evening for sharing their time with us. If you could just raise your hand when I call your name. Miss Shanika Preston. Mrs. Gretchen Venn. And Mr. Ronnie Venn. All right, without further ado, we will begin with our first speech. Introducing Mr. Bradley Kantrowitz from Jackson Heights.
Leadership comes in many ways, so many I could fill a book, but here are just a few in school, sports, family, and friends. Me, I try to be a leader in everything, unless my sister has something to say about it. It can make you feel good, and that's your self-confidence. Leadership is a very important skill that takes courage. Right now, you might be thinking, do I have leadership? Yep. Everybody does. You just have to find it inside you. This past year, I think I showed the most leaderships yet. From my student council election, to my baseball team, to helping a close cause to me. It just takes baby steps. Just start out small and get bigger. Take charge of a few things with your family and friends. Then go to your team. Then community projects. Finally, start your own projects. I started off with giving my own money to the Down Syndrome Association because my brother has Down syndrome. It only takes a few dollars. My future plan is to get my baseball team to help in my brother's Challenger baseball team. I also ran for student council this year to help my school get better. I may not be vice president this year, but I'm still on student council making a difference. That's what I do with my leadership skills. What can you do? Find something you care about and help make it better. Like help the earth, help your school, help animals, even the silly stuff at home called chores. Do it to your best ability. Doesn't matter how small or silly. Today, we lack leadership. We don't have enough of it. It's my fire. It's what keeps me going. That's what everybody should feel about leadership. It can benefit you ways you can't imagine. Like your coach might see it, put you a better spot on your team. Your parents might see it and give you more responsibility at home and trust you more. Everybody has leadership. It just takes steps to find it. But eventually, rewards will come. So take leadership to the next level today.
Thank you, Bradley. So as the judges finish up their scores, I'd like to share a little bit about each of the speakers. So Bradley is very good at baseball. He has a brother that has Down syndrome. He likes to share in front of his school. And obviously we can see that he takes on many leadership roles. Excellent job, Bradley. Okay, up next we have Reese Taylor from Park Maitland Middle School. Come on up, Reese.
Racism is a topic that's been covered in the media a lot recently, but one perspective has been neglected a bit. How people act towards people that are minorities is a part of my daily life, and how even though these things happen unintentionally, these things can really get inside your head. So how does this all make me feel? One story that comes to mind is last year when my grade went to Camp Weewa, which is like an adventure camp. There we went climbing and swimming and had lots of fun. I have to mention that I normally wear my hair in braids, like I am right now. And if I if I run around too much or my hair gets wet, they begin to come out. Also note that before this, none of my friends had seen my hair out of braids. So naturally, they were quite curious when I came out of the pool looking like a mad scientist. My hair is puffy and curly, so I got a lot of reactions. Some were, whoa, look in the mirror, or your hair. I didn't mind those, but the one that sent me over the edge was, why isn't your hair normal? Imagine you're letting your friends see your new sibling. They begin making critical comments that are almost sounding mean, but not. They're from your friends, so you assume the best. Finally, one comment is enough to send you over the edge. These comments tear down at something that you are proud of, something that's a part of you, something that you loved and wanted one approving word of, and that thing is destroyed. I didn't say anything, but it hurt. I am the minority, so it made me feel like I didn't fully fit in, like I wasn't normal. There was one other time that something very similar happened, and again, it was about my hair. Last year, we had a winter ball, and this time, I promise, I did not look like a mad scientist. My hair was in large, thick curls, and some even said it looked better than before. That's when I kind of had a hold up kind of moment. I just kind of gave a blank, distant look to my friends before hurriedly smiling, laughing, thanking them, and changing the conversation. What was going through my head was not that my hair was cool, because who would have a problem with that, but I was wondering why this fake representation of my hair was getting a more positive response than my actual hair. I know it seems like I've thrown my friends under the bus, but they're really good people with great intentions. And what I hope you take away from this is that everyone is different. So naturally, we interpret things differently. And that by understanding that, we can make the world a more understanding place.
Reese is about to perform in The Wizard of Oz at the Bob Carr. She has created her own website, and she's learned that speaking, writing, and presentation skills through her participation in the public speaking competition. Okay, up next we have Samantha Waterston with Ads Are Everywhere from Tuscaloosa Middle School.
Ads are everywhere, online and off. The average American kid sees and hears up to 3,000 advertising messages a day. With ads being thrown at us from every direction, it's only natural to wonder why the once steady trickle of ads has turned into a raging flood. This one question leads to other questions for answers, such as, what do advertisers want from us? How much do they spend trying to get us to buy their products? What do they use that is most effective in getting us to spend our money? And where do they place these ads? Advertisers want you to spend your money, and they'll spend a lot to make sure you do. It is estimated that companies spend about $12 billion a year advertising to kids. Why so much when kids don't have much money? It is because some kids don't realize that what's on TV is not real. These kids will see a commercial advertising for a product that will make them cooler or smarter. Then they will ask or even beg their parents for that product. And the company becomes successful. One example is McDonald's, which spends about $2 billion a year advertising to make you feel a thrill when you see their signature golden arches. No one will spend this kind of money unless they're getting results. And companies are getting results. By age 3, the average American kid can recognize 100 brand logos. And some kids can recognize a logo before they can recognize their own name. My little brothers provide an example to this. If you say hotel, they'll say Trivago. And they'll also say and make jokes about the Geico slogan because they always see these commercials on TV. In fact, 46% of all ads are actually found on TV, ranging from commercials to sponsorships to product placement. What is product placement, you may ask? It is when one company pays the producer of a TV show or movie to put their product into whatever they're producing. Like if you see a main character talking with a friend about doomsday while drinking a Coke, that is product placement, and you are seeing an ad even if you don't even realize you're seeing it. But TV advertising is not the most effective way to get us to spend our money. Word of mouth is, probably because you trust what your families and friends are saying more than you trust what commercials or online reviews are. And surprisingly, ads can also be in schools. Vending machines in cafeterias, field trips to chain stores, and commercials on the bus radio are all forms of advertising, no matter how subtle. Companies are drowning us in ads trying to get us to spend our money. But one thing that we can do is stop and think about what these ads are trying to get us to do, what they're trying to get us to spend our money on. Then we can make a choice, a powerful choice. We always have a choice.
Samantha enjoys reading and writing. Her favorite subjects are math and science. And she enjoys public speaking, and that is what she enjoyed most about her participation in the program. Okay, up next we have Wesley Thomas with the Wonders of JBQ from Altamont Christian School.
Everyone should be able to learn God's Word, and Junior Bible Quiz is an easy and fun way to do it. After JBQ was started in 1975, many people wanted to join, but it was mainly for elementary children. When I started learning about Junior Bible Quiz in kindergarten, I thought it was going to change my life forever, and now it has. So when I started learning about it, it was fun, and competing and how it affects a person's life was very interesting to me. Junior Bible Quiz offers a fun and exciting way to motivate children to the important truths in God's Word. JBQ was created and designed to help children learn the words of God. And JBQ was created also to help develop a love for the Bible. A quiz team. It consists of 1 quiz exact coach, 2 assistant coaches, and 2 to 8 children eligible to quiz. The way to study. The Bible Fact Pack. This consists of 576 questions and answers based on the 16 fundamental truths of the Assemblies of God. It has been said that JBQ is one of the best programs for learning God's Word. There are different competitions held around the nation for Junior Bible Quiz. The Carolina Classics is an invitational where teams from the East Coast go to North Carolina to compete against other teams. And the Southeast Regionals is a 2-day event where only the top teams from the Southeast regions will go together to see who will be going to the National Festival. The National Festival is where the top teams in the nation compete to see who the best team of all for that year is. Competition has been a big part of Junior Bible Quiz, but has always been for God. Junior Bible Quiz has changed many lives for the better. When children begin Junior Bible Quiz, they start to gain confidence while competing against other teams. Children will also learn to have respect for others, and with experience, understand how they can go through daily life with the challenges and understand how to go through them. Winning is fun, but learning God's Word has always been the main purpose. It is very interesting and exciting to learn what JBQ is, about the competition, and how it affects a person's life. After JBQ was established, a lot of people wanted to join the program. There are many different ways to learn the Bible, but I think Junior Bible Quiz is the best.
Thank you, Wesley. Wesley has participated in the Junior Bible Quiz since he was in kindergarten. He can play the drums, and the 4-H program has helped him and encouraged him to do more. Great job, Wesley. Okay, we're ready to move on to Madison DeWitt with Too Much Testing, Please Stop from Lawton Childs Middle School.
Have you ever had a bad day? Yes, we all have. Now imagine that your bad day is topped with the requirement of taking a standardized test. Standardized testing is getting out of control. Young children are experiencing testing overload
low self-esteem, and are extremely stressed out because of the amount of testing that goes into our public schools. Sadly, testing overload is now becoming the new normal in our school systems. Gone are the days where children could create projects and practice skits in class. The new fun is testing preparation, quarter exams, and standardized tests for nearly all classes. If you get a teacher that tries to squeeze in fun in between the tests, enjoy it, because it may be your last. In a recent study, Washington University states that by 12th grade, students have taken up to 112 hours of just standardized testing. This means that in nearly 16,000 hours in school, from the time that we are 5 to 18 years old, 112 of those hours are taken up by standardized tests. To put this in perspective, that eats up 20 to 25 hours of a school year. That's absurd. When can students find the time to build strong relationships with their family and friends? Furthermore, 85% of the world's student population suffer from low self-esteem. Trust me when I say hearing repeatedly about big tests is very stressful. 20% of public school students get high test anxiety during standardized tests. This can cause headaches, tight muscles, and even serious panic attacks. Not many people understand the gravity of how much pressure it is for some kids. But not only is there pressure for taking the test, but what score you get on the test too. As you know, if you fail a standardized test, you're most likely going to get held back. Imagine being that kid who gets held back, who everyone calls stupid because of a test score. I mean, really. How low would your self-esteem be if that happened to you? Even though standardized testing is unspeakably wrong, it does have some pros. It helps teachers know how well they have taught the student and the progress of the student's knowledge. Seeing how well the students do helps taxpayers know what to spend their money on. Many websites explain that standardized testing helps point out advanced students that need to go up into more gifted classes. And a test can't always make you have low self-esteem. If you get a good grade, it can make you feel great. As I mentioned, standardized testing needs to be reconsidered. It's gotten out of control. The days of living in Mayberry, or AKA the simple life, are a thing of the past because of standardized testing. I pose an obvious question to those who mandate the standardized tests. Does one test score really determine who we are?
Thank you, Madison. Madison loves going to the beach and animals. She's been doing cheer for 8 years. And what she liked best about the competition is that she learned to feel more comfortable doing public speaking. Great job. We're ready to move on to our next speaker. ALIANA GUERRE is going to be speaking about emotions, and she is from Holy Cross Lutheran Academy.
The reason why I chose my topic is because, in my opinion, emotions are very strange, and I've always wondered about them. So I thought this was the best opportunity to research, share, and learn. For starters, emotions are an everyday part of life, from laughing at a text to being angry at a friend. We are all hopefully familiar with this word because we express them every single day. The main 6 emotions are anger, happiness, surprise, disgust, sadness, and fear, although there are over 100 more. We express emotions through words, physical gestures, and facial expressions. We express most emotions physically. Certain parts of our body, such as our upper part, are strongly stimulated during all emotions. If you're not familiar with this word, the definition for emotions is a strong feeling deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationship with others. One of the biggest questions I had when researching this topic was, can we control how we express our emotions, as in physically? We obviously don't want to feel negative emotions. Well, one way we can actually force or control an emotion is by forcing a smile when sad, and it actually works. Color can dramatically affect the way we feel. For example, warm colors such as red, orange, and yellow can represent warmth and comfort, although they can also represent anger and hostility. Cool colors such as blue, purple, and green can represent calmness, although they can also represent sadness and indifference. There is so much more to speak about when it comes to this topic. That concludes my speech, and I hope you sense happiness today.
Thank you. Aliana enjoys playing sports to include soccer and tennis. Her birthday is on New Year's Eve, very exciting. And through this Tropicana program, she learned how to properly structure a speech. And we're ready to move on to our next speaker, Hannah WOHLEVER, with the Music of Nature from the Masters Academy.
The first note, a whisper, flowed through the hot, humid air. The bows are lifted to their strings. Nature is always playing, always singing. Everyone can hear, but only some really listen. But this expanse of beauty is always waiting, always patient, playing its song. Have you ever listened to a cicada's voice? The howl of a wolf resounding against a diamond sky? Even the trees provide a rustling that harmonizes with the wind. The world sings to us, calling us back. The melody drifts, flowing through all living things. Even the raindrops slip through the cloud's soft fingers and patter the earth until the drum rolls with thunder. Some always listen. The singing intrigued them since they were a child. They remain innocent, peaceful, the playing harmonizing their existence. They live life to its fullest, let go of fear, simply being. They understand the world, wise by listening, not by injecting their own thoughts. Nature is the only musical they can't stop listening to. This orchestra plays for us and one who is greater than us. We can break our ways, forget our troubles for just a moment. Nature soothes us, the water lapping our feet, or the grass tickling our toes. Throw away your thoughts and be still. What is it saying? Do not throw it away. Hold on and fight for this music. Nature is wise. You can learn patience, kindness, and so many others. Nature is calling for you. Will you slam the door, or will you listen?
Hannah has participated in 5 plays. She's currently working on writing a book. And this Tropicana competition has made her more sure of herself and open to others. Up next, we have Veronica Valdez with the Universe of Reading from Indian Trails Middle School.
I can travel to a whole different world, and you can too. I'm here to tell you that by simply opening a book and reading the story within can bring you on an unforgettable adventure. An adventure filled with fire-breathing dragons, fearless warriors, and unsolvable mystery. Reading opens the portal to a new universe that continues with the turn of a page. Oh, reading, one may say. You read words off a few pages. It is so much more than that. If you are truly reading, you have transformed into the protagonist. You drift off into this alternate dimension, and your surroundings fade away. 2 paths appear in front of you. The first one looks uneven and dangerous and risky, but it looks so exhilarating and thrilling. The second one is even and plain and, dare I say, boring. You will not regret going down the first uneven yet exhilarating path. The sun beats on your window, but you cannot see it, nor can you hear the soft hum of the fan. You are unaware of everything. You are having the time of your life. You smile, you laugh, and you cry. Instead of the soft hum of the fan, you hear the crackle of lightning over the forgotten forest, the bells over the castle of the north, and all you can think of is the story you are in. And at the last page, you close your book. You sigh. You can once again see the sun beating on your window, and you can finally hear the soft hum of the fan. But then, you pick up another book. You open it, and another journey begins. Simply reading words is certainly not the same as truly reading a story, because truly reading a story is something that you will never forget in your lifetime. I can travel to a whole different world, and you can too.
Thank you, Veronica. Veronica enjoys writing different types of poetry. She has a fluffy dog named Max, and the speech contest has taught her to speak passionately. It most definitely has. Great job, Veronica. Raybryn Gordon with the Real Black History from Millennium Middle School.
Whenever you learn about Black history in school, it's always about segregation, discrimination, and racism against African Americans. That seems to be the only part of Black history that people know. You're learning about Martin Luther King Jr., one of the greatest leaders in the civil rights movement. Harriet Tubman, a brave woman who was born a slave and eventually helped herself and many other slaves become free through the Underground Railroad. But have you ever wondered what happened before slavery, before segregation and discrimination? Do you know about the African empires, kingdoms, and tribes? It's time to learn the truth of a Black empire and its leader, a Black civilization, and Black culture. The first empire that we will explore is the Mali Empire. The Mali Empire was ruled by a great emperor named Mansa Musa during the 14th century. Mansa Musa was and continues to be one of the wealthiest person in history. With his riches, he donated to the poor and charitable organizations and helped boost Islamic education by building libraries and universities. And, well, believe it or not, Mansa Musa was Black. Another civilization in history that many people do not realize were Black are the Egyptians. In many representations of the Egyptians, they are portrayed as Caucasian rather than Black. Drawings and hieroglyphics and pyramids by the Egyptians themselves prove that they did not consider themselves to be Caucasian. They had deep, dark, melanated skin tones and coarse, woolly hair, which are all Black traits. Furthermore, there is Black culture. Black culture extends worldwide. Dance, music, and fashion have played a major part in Black culture. Rhythmic music, expressive dance, and elaborate attire has been used in ritual ceremonies and celebrations. Overall, there are many Black empires and civilizations throughout history which were started and run by African people. There is a large amount of culture that comes from Black people, although because of the society we live in, that culture is not given the proper recognition. The Black culture is rich. Unfortunately, when people hear about Black history in school, the first thing they think about is slavery. Please remember that slavery is not the beginning of Black history. Slavery interrupted Black history.
Raybryn plays the viola. She's been dancing for 7 years, and what she liked best about the 4-H Tropicana program. It says here was getting orange juice. Well, that's a good thing. We have plenty of that. And she learned to become a better speaker. And we're ready to move on to our next speaker, Alexzandra Lightbourne, preparing for a swim meet from RR Private School.
You're on the diving block. You hear a loud beep, and without even knowing, you dive. Yep, it's time for a swim meet. Some people think it's easy, but to a swimmer, it's life or death. I'm here to tell you how to prepare for a swim meet and what happens at a swim meet so I can encourage you to become a swimmer also. When you prepare for a swim meet, it all starts a week before the swim meet, which is a week of taper. A week of taper is when you get easy sets and easy workouts so you don't strain your muscles before a meet. The day before a swim meet, you have to make sure you have a good dinner and carbo load, which means eat a lot of carbs. When you're done, you have to shower and shave because you're not only shaving hair off, but you're shaving time off of your race. The morning of the swim meet, you have to have a good breakfast. As soon as I get to the meet, I talk to my coach and teammates about the races I will be doing. When I'm finished talking to my coach, I go to my parents. It's easy to spot them because they have a big cooler full of drinks and food because swim meets can last a long time. When I'm done, I go to my coach and teammates again and we take a warm-up, which lasts about 30 minutes. When we're done, sometimes our coach gives us a Sharpie so we can write on our arm the races that we will be doing. We have to write on our arm the races that we will be doing because there are many different races. There are different age groups, different heats. A heat is when there's 16 people in an age group but only 8 diving blocks, so you'll have to have 2 heats. There are many races like sprint races and distance races. Sprint races are when you have to swim as fast as you can the whole time, and distance races are when you have to pace yourself during the race. Sprint races can vary from 25s, 100s, and 200s, while distance races can last from 300s and 500s. Since a 25 is 1 lap, a 100 would be 4 laps, and a 200 would be 8 laps. So it's actually 200 laps. And a distance race like 300 and 500 would be 12 laps and 20 laps. As soon as the starter says take your marks, we're on our diving block and we get ready to dive. Instead of a gun indicating we have to dive, we have a loud beep. As soon as we hear it, we dive. When the race is done and the last person hits the wall, we're allowed to get out of the pool. Because if we get out of the pool before the last person hits the wall, it's improper swim etiquette. And finally, we get our award. And that's what happens at swim meets.
Thank you, Alexzandra. Alexzandra enjoys swim meets, participating in theater, and she is also, of course, a swimmer. She has appreciated this program in helping with her public speaking skills. And we're ready to move on. Evelyn Shaw with What Autism Really Is from Greenwood Lakes Middle School.
Some people say that autistic individuals are bad, violent, lack empathy, don't feel emotions, cannot become independent as adults, and do not have the academic abilities others have. None of these myths and misunderstandings are true. As a big sister of a 5-year-old boy with autism, I have experiences with this disorder, and I need to be the one to show the world what autism really is and that it's not what people make it out to be. Autism is a serious developmental disorder that impairs the ability to communicate and interact. And while autistic people behave differently from the rest of us, it does not make them bad nor violent. Their brain and senses react differently and are often highly sensitive to the world around them. They may still throw tantrums, scream, and cry at the age of 7, but that's because their developmental age is not the same as their actual age. My autistic brother Harrison is estimated to be developmentally 2 years old. He's not very verbal, and his sentences are usually no longer than 2 words. He's not violent, but is rather loving. He gives high fives and hugs when you ask him to, and sometimes even without you asking. He also gets along with his classmates at school and is learning how to play with others by taking turns. Some think that people with autism lack empathy, which is nowhere near true. People with autism are often highly concerned with the feelings of the people around them. Harrison definitely cares about the feelings of those around him because when I laugh and smile, he joyously does the same. And when my little sister cries, he either cries or covers his ears, and sometimes even both. Many people say that children with autism cannot become independent as adults. While they may go through adulthood differently from the rest of us, they may also go through the experience in similar ways. Many children with ASD grow up to be adults who live independently, who work, who develop close friendships, and even romantic relationships. It is likely that most adults with ASD will always require some kind of support, but this can sometimes be done at a distance. And just because people with autism may require a little more support as adults than most do, no one is ever truly independent unless they build their own house and make their own food, tools, water, and electricity. There's a big difference between being dependent and being supported and helped. Lots of people tend to make the claim that people with autism lack the academic capabilities that others possess. This myth couldn't be more mistaken. Some of the most brilliant people in the world were autistic. Tim Burton, the producer of The Nightmare Before Christmas, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the famous musician and composer, and some research has shown that even Albert Einstein may have had the disorder. Harrison is very intelligent and good at problem solving. He can solve a 50-piece puzzle very quickly and knows exactly where every piece goes, displaying he has a great memory. He knows all of his numbers up to 25, as well as the entire alphabet. He's also beginning to learn how to read words. People with autism are often misunderstood, and therefore people have created myths about them that are not true. I hope more people can learn the joy of knowing someone with autism, as I have through Harrison.
Thank you, Evelyn. Evelyn plays French horn in her school band. She loves reading and math, and she likes how the Tropicana speech contest helped her express herself and helps you build your self-confidence. Our next speaker is Ava ECKSTEIN-SCHOEMANN with Step Up from Markham Woods Middle School.
Have you ever felt alone, left out, or worse yet, different? Have you ever been made fun of because you didn't fit in? Well, this is something kids with disabilities face every day. Every day they are reminded that they are different, that they don't fit in. Some kids with disabilities take a longer time to process or understand what is being said, and this is one of the reasons why they're being teased or made fun of. But the main reason people make fun of the disabled is because they look or act differently, and others don't understand or have false information about their differences. What many people don't know is that people with disabilities yearn to be like everyone else. This is why my family and I started a nonprofit organization called Breaking Barriers that gives people with disabilities a chance to learn Taekwondo. Some of the disabilities include autism, the hearing impaired, mute, legally blind, and Down syndrome. Our students learn to work together, follow directions, memorize forms, and use proper etiquette. They learn respect for one another while building confidence, improving their skills, and developing leadership qualities. Many of our students are becoming teachers to others. What is so great about Breaking Barriers is seeing our students feel included. Now they are more than just friends. They are like a family, not only to each other, but to myself as well. My challenge to each of you is to step up and make a difference in a disabled person's life. Do something to make them feel included. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be as simple as saying hi with a smile on your face. How about asking them to sit with you at lunch? Lunch can be a lonely time when no one wants to sit with you. Imagine if we all step up and be a role model for others to follow. Maybe we can be the spark that makes a difference.
Thank you, Ava. Ava has 2 brothers who are artistic, and she also has 1 sister. She loves spending time with her family, and she liked the experience of the competition that it has given her to prepare for future presentations. We're ready for Mr. Jack Fitzgerald with The Life of a Great President from All Souls Catholic School.
Americans had strong feelings about the Kennedys. People either loved them or hated them. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was born into the competitive Kennedy family on May 29, 1917. He was the second of 9 children and nicknamed Jack. The Kennedys were all about sports, and the best of them got all the praise. To please his father, Jack always played to win, even if it meant putting himself in danger. For example, Jack once had a game with Joe, but not just some ordinary game. They crashed their bikes head on. One was supposed to swerve and chicken, but that did not happen. Jack ended up in the hospital with 28 stitches. In school, Jack was neither an outstanding athlete nor a student. He went to Princeton but hurt his back badly while trying out for a football team. And he later transferred to Harvard and joined the swim team. After college, Jack enlisted into the U.S. Navy. He received a Medal of Honor for his bravery after a ship was sunk by Japanese destroyers, and he helped save his crew by helping them swim to a nearby island. His happiness was short-lived because his brother, Joe Jr., had died in a wartime mission plane crash. And after that, Jack's father, Honey, wanted him to become the first Catholic president ever. And soon he became Congressman Kennedy of Boston, and then the Senator of Massachusetts. He married Jacqueline Lee Bouvier at 36 and decided it was time to run for president. And at the age of 42, was the youngest ever elected. He joked about his job. The pay is good and I can walk to work with his usual modesty. He did not add that he gave all his salary to charity. As president, Kennedy greatly supported space exploration and also created the Peace Corps, and unfortunately was in charge of the Bay of Pigs fiasco. And in late 1963, Kennedy was already thinking about his second term, so he decided to travel to Dallas. He planned on driving through the streets of Dallas in a limousine. The limousine had a plastic shield to deflect bullets, but he decided to leave it off. He wanted to see the crowd, and he wanted the crowd to see him. Moments later, shots rang out. The president had been hit! He slumped over on Jackie's lap. A man named Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested for the shooting that day. And as that man we knew and remembered faded away, his inauguration speech words are still with us. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country.
Thank you, Jack. Well, if you all don't leave inspired tonight and ready to take action, I don't know what's wrong with you. These kids have been fantastic. Jack was born in San Francisco. He plays hockey, and he's a black belt in Taekwondo. And what he enjoyed most about the program was entertaining people. Up next, we have Gabe OLAH with Nikola Tesla from Rock Lake Middle School.
When people think of inventors who changed history, they mostly think of people like Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, or James Marconi, who harnessed radio waves to send a signal overseas. Well, I can crush and obliterate all the dreams of those starry-eyed children listening to the speech and wanting to be an inventor like either of those candidates, because Edison never invented the light bulb and Marconi never invented the radio. Are you all done racking your brains why you had been lied to as a child? Well, that's not for me to tell. I'm here to tell you about Tesla. Nikola Tesla was an inventor. He invented the radio and the AC current and very, very obviously the Tesla coil. Oh, and around 300 patents. But I could give infinite praise to Tesla and you wouldn't learn anything. Now I will educate you on a few of Tesla's little-known accomplishments. Let's start with Tesla's war. Tesla went to war against Edison in the War of the Currents. The War of the Currents occurred when Tesla tried to sell his alternating current against Edison's direct current. Edison then started a smear campaign to show how dangerous Tesla's AC current was because of its higher voltage, even though his was less efficient and was starting fires. I won't go into the specifics because then I could go on for hours, but I will say that Tesla eventually won the war with the 1893 World's Fair being lit with Tesla's AC current for the first time. The entire fair glowed radiantly. Radiance reminds me of radio waves. Both Tesla and James Marconi started to harness radio waves around the same time. The inventors' duel eventually ended with the invention, patenting, and public demonstration of a small toy boat that harnessed radio waves to steer, made by Tesla. Sometime later, Marconi sent a signal overseas and was considered the inventor of the radio. But a couple years after Tesla's death, it was acknowledged that Marconi's patent infringed on Tesla's patent of the toy boat, along with a few others, and Tesla was the true inventor of the radio. Some of you may be asking yourselves, if Tesla invented so many things that revolutionized our world, why don't most people know about him or his great achievements? In comparison to inventors like Edison, who focused on practical applications, Tesla was in it for the science and the knowledge, whether it could be used practically at the time or not. History seems to shine the spotlight on people who make money off of inventions, not the actual inventors themselves. Hopefully now you realize Tesla's genius like Albert Einstein did. When asked, "How does it feel to be the smartest man alive?" by someone, Einstein replied, "I don't know. You'd have to ask Nikola Tesla."
Gabe enjoys playing the mandolin and the violin. Of course, his idol is Nikola Tesla. From his experience in the competition, he liked most was meeting people and learning about influencing others through public speaking. Okay, up next we have Avery Johnson with Carriage Crisis from Orangewood Christian School.
Have you ever ridden in a horse-drawn carriage through the streets of New York? Isn't it a nice and peaceful way to sightsee? But have you ever stopped to think about the lives of the horses? Where do they live? How long do they work? Is it even safe? These topics are what I'm going to be talking about today. According to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the life of a carriage horse is extremely difficult and life-threatening. To start with, where the horses live is awful. Older buildings were turned into barns for these horses. The rooms were renovated into stalls that are uncomfortable and small. Inside, a horse can barely lie down and sometimes can't even turn around, so they can see what's going on. Around 220 horses live like this, without the freedom to move around or lay down to rest. This is no comfy place for a horse. Secondly, the horses are overworked. People on average work 40 hours a week with the weekends off, right? We all love our weekends. In contrast, a carriage horse works 12 hours a day, every day, with no weekends off. This almost doubles the amount of work that we do. They eat, they're fastened to a carriage, and then they're sent off to work. These horses walk to Central Park, where they spend their day pulling passengers around in over a 200-plus pound carriage. This is not the life a horse should be living. Finally, there are many health and safety issues that need to be recognized and fixed. One area of concern deals with the process called nose-to-tailpipe. This occurs when a horse stands on a street with
car exhaust going up their nose and into their lungs. According to NY Class, this process could potentially cause lung disease. Horses getting spooked is another major safety problem. Blinders limit a horse's vision, which makes it very simple for a horse to get scared. An example of this is a horse gets spooked by a bus rushing past him. He flies around a corner and gets stuck under his own carriage for over half an hour. The carriage is removed, but the horse was hooked up to another carriage and forced to work, even though he was injured. There are many other stories of pedestrians getting hit and run over by horse-drawn carriages because they were scared and took off running. Obviously, the New York streets aren't safe for carriages. So now you know what's really going on. What are you going to do about it? These poor horses are living in awful conditions, they're overworked, and their health and safety is low. This is something that must be stopped. We all need to work together today to end this carriage crisis.
Avery loves to sing, act, and dance. And of course, she loves horses. We have Rudy Darden with the influence of diversity from South Seminole Middle School.
Being a mixed child with Puerto Rican and African American roots, I feel the need to speak about the influence of diversity. Diversity is beautiful and inspiring. And to find the beauty in life itself, you must understand that there is beauty in life, no matter the ethnicity, skin color, or hope. Diversity is so beautiful because it shows that people like me with thick and curly hair can exist on public billboards, be spokespeople, and exist in literature. Now, you may be wondering, how does this apply to me? Well, if this question is in your head, then think about this. The future depends on it. We need to show that it is more than okay to be different, that it is okay not to look like the typical girl next door, the girl you saw on that billboard or the makeup commercial that came on last night. Not only is it okay to be different, but we will recognize your differences and celebrate them. I can personally relate to this topic of diversity when I was belittled by my own friend because of my skin color. I quickly had to realize that I couldn't be mad at her, but her influence. That she didn't realize how she hurt me because her influence of diversity hadn't positively affected her life. So most people in a conversation or situation about diversity would ask, what is the effect on people? Well, people like me, with thick and curly hair too nappy to comb dry, with skin the color of chocolate and eyes the color of chestnuts, need motivation to know their self-worth and importance. Diversity is an influence that has the ability to change lives. It has the ability to pop this bubble that people live in and can't get out of. It can open their eyes to the beauty of life and color. It is quite easy to notice a slight increase in the amount of diversity in today's society. See, but the only problem is, it shouldn't be a slight increase. It should be common to see a mixed girl, an afro, a Muslim, or a hijab on a magazine cover or even billboard. It should be common to see a person that looks like me on something that you would see across the road. So we shouldn't ignore this problem. We as people need to provide a solution for the lack of diversity in today's society. We can do this by showing that a black girl or a mixed girl can be a model, a superhero, a princess, or even president of the United States of America. That we will support them and their dreams. So whenever people ask me why is speaking out on diversity, racism, or sexism your passion, the only thing that I can say is that everyone is driven to love or encourage something or someone. The reason why I love diversity is because it can change lives, so that your kids now or in the future know that they don't have to fit in with society or the in crowd. So embrace those silky curls, that curly afro, that hijab, those Puerto Rican sideburns and baby hair. You are who you are, so don't let anyone ever in a million years change that. Thank you.
Rudy wanted to reiterate her thanks for her amazing teachers, Miss McAvoy, Miss Logan, and Mrs. Reed, and her school, South Seminole Middle School, that has helped her get where she is. She lives with a multicultural family that influences her to be who she is today. And what she learned from the program is that it helps her speak out about what she's passionate about. We have one last speaker with us, last but not least, Miss Angelina Joseph from Teague Middle School with the Journey of the Pretzel.
Picture going to the mall and smelling the aroma of a soft baked pretzel. You're like a hound dog sniffing out the pretzel place to bite into the soft baked yumminess. You savor each bite of the pretzel and watch the frosting drip down the pretzel as you chomp into it. On a recent trip to the mall, I experienced tasting the treat and chewing the pretzel that tasted really good. And I also experienced the tasting of the pretzel that was chewy on the inside and crunchy on the outside. I also experienced people slowly eating their pretzel, savoring every little bite. Let's take a journey through history with the pretzel. In 610 AD, Italy, monks in an arcaded kitchen were covered head to toe in flour, humming religious tunes making pretzels. They are folding the kneaded strips of dough to look like a child's arms folded in prayer. The three empty holes in the pretzel stood for the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. As the audience, you're probably wondering, what do monks and pretzels have to do with each other? The pretzel was used as an award system for children who memorized Bible verses and prayers. Now, imagine in 2017, a teenager working in a pretzel shop, bored, doing the same job every day, compared to the monks, happily humming and making pretzels, fashioning the kneaded dough into the same shape. Do you think he or she understands the religious meaning of the pretzel? Let's go back in time to the mid-1500s, when the pretzel took on a new meaning. The phrase tying the knot was used between two prominent families, and the pretzel loop stood for everlasting love. For us in 2017, keep that in mind when you shop for loved ones. Instead of diamonds, pretzels, or instead of chocolates, pretzels. Continue the journey to 1620. Pretzels may have found its way to America aboard the Mayflower, and pilgrims traded pretzels for goods and services. Today, people don't trade pretzels for necessities. We pay for pretzels because we want it to satisfy our cravings. This is the story of the pretzel. So think about it next time you bite into the tasty treat.
Thank you, Angelina. Angelina would like to be a judge when she gets older. And I can't read her second interesting fact, so I'll have to ask her after and share it with you all. Well, that was our 1 through 17 amazing speakers. Yes, round of applause. So once again, congratulations to all of our 17 finalists for a job well done. We're going to begin with our honorable mention. Receiving our honorable mention for 2017 is Jack Fitzgerald. Please come up. In third place for our 2017 competition is Raybryn Gordon. In second place for 2017 is Rudi Darden. And our first place winner for 2017, who's also receiving a scholarship to 4-H summer camp, is Veronica Valdez. If I can have all of our winners please come back up. One more round of applause for all of our contestants.